What is going on, guys? It's your boy Yaz. We are back here. We're going to be running the some arena gameplay here, but with regards to this video, I will be taking a look at possibly the best arena defense team right now. If you don't have a Nihilist, this will most likely be one of the top tier defensive teams, at least the ones that I've been kind of running issues into. And then, of course, as well, we'll talk about kind of what the worst one is to have on defense, because literally if you're using Fantastic Four, you can counter them. So in my opinion and in my eyes, you probably don't want to be using this defense because it's basically going to open up yourself to a whole bunch of attacks from people, especially right now with how the arena rewards are, and people want to get as much of the Rumble Orbs as well. You want to obviously stay in your arena rank for as long as possible, right? So anyways, let's quickly jump into the roster here to take a look at the squads. And you guys will see here that obviously, I think I've already mentioned it in a few times already, but we have been using a couple of different comps, and possibly the best right now, the best one on defense is possibly this Blue Marvel and Xavier. We have also brought our Venom up as well. I can't talk. We have also brought our Venom up as well. He is level 105, so I didn't push him to 110 yet, but I've seen how good he is, and just actually playing against the Retcon team and all that other stuff as well here, it's actually nice having him a little beefier so he survives, because his passive, right? His passive is very critical here for this entire synergy of the team. If this character has 2 or more Symbiote 6 allies, brawlers and controllers cannot spawn with the offense up, and until this character takes their first turn, lower the crit chance of all enemies by 100%. So this isn't just going to be important for war and arena. This is also going to be probably most likely important for the next Breaker event, and of course as well in PvE content that has characters going before Venom, and Venom is a bit slower, and just having some damage mitigation there is going to be nice. So anyways, that's just full disclosure now. And I've got him at 4 diamonds as well here, so maybe I can get away with not bringing him all the way to 110 just yet. So anyways, so that's the team here. And again, as well, Xavier, obvious reasons. He can stop the speed bar, and he can also stop the speed up, at least until he gets his first turn. So this is kind of the reason why we have him on defense, because he's going to be able to stop a lot of that speed manipulation. And Blue Marvel, because on defense, he is, technically a defensive character. And on turn, he's going to basically use his ult, and he's going to hit basically every single character, right? On defense, this attack targets all enemies. And yeah, you want to just nuke everybody down here. And we've got our Blue Marvel at, at the 7 red as well, thanks to the target Blue Marvel catch up that they had. So that's the defensive lineup, and I'll run the footage for you guys now, so you can kind of see how just how disgusting, right? How disgusting this defensive team is. Okay, so jumping in here, we'll switch over to basically a speed battle, because yeah, like I said, I've been trying a couple of offensive options to kind of to see what works and what doesn't work, and I figured, hey, Daemon, Storm, both very fast characters, and perhaps maybe we can crack this Professor Xavier Blue Marvel defense, right? And other than the coin flip, obviously, if the coin flip is in your favor, you can definitely win for sure. But this one, I figured, hey, let's try with some speed. So again, this one is pretty much the ideal defense. You want Venom here because he'll stop the crit chance from Daemon, and then he'll also stop the crit chance from Storm as well, which is key here, because especially because our Quicksilver, the max, at least until you shell out the cash, most people should only have a 5 yellow on the Quicksilver. So we win the coin flip here, and our Quicksilver does go first indeed. However, as you guys will see here, even though we take care of the Quicksilver, probably would have been a better idea to take care of the Xavier, because then by that time, Null just ults, and it's game over. So yeah, simple as that. I think this is why this is probably one of the best defensive teams you can run right now. And we'll run a different example here again as well. Shout out to our boy, Rob, for having this defensive lineup to use on. It also helps that he has a 1 diamond Blue Marvel as well here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm pretty jelly. That's pretty awesome. We also try to do another speed lineup with Fantastic Four, just trying to play speed with speed. And again, you're gonna see here that they are able to take our team down quite abrasively here. Obviously, it's good to see that this previous arena meta is getting absolutely destroyed here. And this is, like I said, I think in my opinion probably the go-to defense right now in terms of throwing on your defense. You pretty much need Symbiote 6 against these guys, and Fantastic Four is just not going to cut the mustard here, as you guys can see. And then once Blue Marvel takes his turn, it is an absolute no chance. Now, that's not to say it's impossible to win, but it will require some RNG. And like I said, winning that coin flip is going to be key here, and also aiming for Professor Xavier as well, because of the fact that he is kind of the key integral part of this team. And being able to take out the enemy Xavier will help you guys out here with this one. So, yeah, keep in mind that as well. Now, it's just going to take a little bit of RNG. Our Venom still gets destroyed here. But yeah, like I said, it's going to take just a couple of the turn meters. And now you can turn on the new toggle settings as well here to kind of see where the turn bars are to help. Yeah, like I said, it's I sometimes feel like it's a bit too busy as well on the screen. But it does kind of, like I said, give me a little bit of nostalgia to Marvel's Avengers Alliance Facebook way back in the days of that game. So definitely for sure pretty fun. Special here as well here. This is going to give the turn meter, and like I said, this is going to just ensure that we get the kill on Xavier. If you can get the turn meter from the low health, this is going to allow our Carnage to go, and then Carnage should be able to do the killing blow on Xavier. And then once you do the killing blow, you should be able to just kind of, go from there as well. Null is going to also do massive amounts of damage, but this is where having your characters at G20 or 20.5, so they say, is going to help give the extra health and stats as well. Purple L5s will also help. And so henceforth, this is the counter. But yeah, it's basically like, when up in the old days against Fantastic Four versus Fantastic Four, it's going to be down to the coin flip. So it's not impossible, but you do need the full symbiote team, and this is kind of what I used that worked. So hopefully it makes sense. And yeah, I won't show the entire gameplay footage since I already had a video on this before, but hopefully you guys can see here that it is doable. And like I said, it's just going to be a coin flip. Okay, so that was the worst. That was the worst defense team that you can run up against. And then what's the easiest one? Well, the easiest one is this one with the Symbiote 6 plus. Actually, it could be full Symbiote 6, or it could be a combination with Storm. In my opinion, the Storm one I feel like is going to be a weaker variation, just because there's not synergy there with all of the 6 members. But this one is also a terrible matchup, because all you really need to use is your Fantastic Four, because Professor Xavier is not there to cancel the speed up, and on spawn, Nick Fury is going to get that speed up to himself, and then he's going to be able to use his special and give death proof and defense up and everything else to the allies. And you guys will see here in the gameplay that it makes it very prone for your defenses to be countered by the previous arena meta teams. Okay, so as you guys can see here, this individual used the lineup that I told you not to use, and again we get that on spawn speed up boost. And then our Fantastic Four is basically going to go here. So you can kind of see the turn meters off a little bit too, because it's kind of showing that Storm should be next. But anyways, that's besides the point. Franklin's going to go, and then Miss Invisible Woman's going to go. And then she's going to throw that massive ult that she has that basically just absolutely shatters the board. And especially if your Quicksilver is only a 5, he's going to get absolutely slaughtered, right? Not to mention this mass blind and ability block from Professor Xavier plus the trauma. Yeah. Nobody wants to get hit by that. So like I said, this is going to basically allow the previous meta teams to absolutely destroy your team because of that on spawn speed up. And it's not fun, right? It's not fun. So don't use this team on defense unless unless people haven't caught on, or unless you don't really care, then that's fine as well, right? This is just my personal opinion. But yeah, that's what I feel like isn't really a good solution right now, because of the fact that you need Xavier on defense. Otherwise, nothing can stop the speed. And Nightcrawler, you can use Nick Fury. Like, it's just, yeah. And I mean, my Fantastic Four is not even built up, right? So we slaughter this individual's level 110s like it's nothing. And again, our Nick Fury is like, gosh, he's so weak. Like, he shouldn't even be on the board. But anyways, yeah, so hopefully you guys can see that here, and hopefully this makes sense. So in essence, try not to use this team on defense if you can avoid it. Slap Xavier in, right? Don't put Storm in there. Storm does not make sense. Like I said, she does do a good amount of damage at the start against maybe a previous normal Symbiote 6 team. But most people are going to slap Xavier on there if they have Xavier, right? Especially in my arena shard. My arena shard's very old. We're all a bunch of old farts that play, and we've been playing this since launch. So everyone that's in my shard should have Xavier. So if you're in my shard, don't use that team. Otherwise, you're going to get slaughtered. And that's kind of it. That's all I got. So like I said, TLDR, do not use the Storm team that doesn't have Xavier. And if you want a really solid defensive team, like I said, the Blue Marvel Xavier is going to give people, a definitely good workout for sure. So anyways, guys, happy Wednesday. Hopefully these helps you guys out. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have figured out any alternative strategies that are working for your current arena shard. Other than that, happy Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.